Welcome back to my James Bond reviews. I'm super excited to be starting up this series once again. In case you missed the last video, I'll just say why I stopped making them. It just was too time consuming and I was busy on other stuff. But now I'm back and ready to talk more James Bond. I have a playlist of James Bond reviews linked in the description in case you want to see them all back to back. So if you want to, just go check it out. So, The Man with the Golden Gun. This film isn't very popular with James Bond fans. In fact, people think it's too silly, which I'll touch on later in the video. And if you wanted a negative review of this movie, you're not going to get this here, because I really like this film. Not because of how silly it is, I just genuinely like it. To the point where I actually prefer it over Live and Let Die. But I do recognize this is a flawed film, so let's just get started talking about this movie. Let's start off with the Bond women. This is going to sound hypocritical again, but I really like the Bond women. I don't know what happened, but my mind just changed after Diamonds Are Forever, and the women just seem fine in the Roger Moore movies. They're not improved, they don't have story arcs or anything, but they serve the plot perfectly well. Even though like the first 2 to 3 women in The Man with the Golden Gun aren't very memorable, this has one of my favorite Bond girls. And this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna just say it, Mary Goodnight. She's given different things to do than more Bond women. Like, she gets captured and she's held captive for a while. And it's very different from James Bond. Used to the girl always being by James' side while he always beats up bad guys. But now James is on his own and having to fight for her pretty much, which didn't happen since Dr. No, to my knowledge. Let's talk about the action. The action is pretty solid. It's definitely not the best Bond action, and it's kind of like, I don't know if it's low tier, it's not mid tier, it's somewhere in between that. But again, like Live and Let Die, I do find this to be more gripping and engaging than previous Bond action, where even though you still know that he's gonna make it out alive, of course. But again, the punches and kicks and scratches, they all feel pretty real, and you feel like they're gonna walk out of the battle with some form of scar to show, at least. And another cool thing about the action sequences is that it explores what you can do with a set during an action scene. A car chase can be a typical car chase, but they choose to put it in the middle of streets with multiple cars in lanes, so they have to swerve around them. And also, the duel between Bond and Francisco, they use that to their advantage to have like a really weird room where they have a very, very cool shootout. So overall, the action, while not as good as previous Bond films, has a lot more to show than most of the other action. Now let's talk about the Bond villain, Francisco. He's pretty good. He doesn't have great motives, I would say, but I don't think that really matters because he's very intimidating and also very fun at the same time. When he's having a conversation with someone and putting together the Golden Gun, it's intimidating, but it's also very fun. And speaking of the Golden Gun, he gets very good props specifically for him, like the Golden Gun and also that laser at the end, near the end of the movie. They really use Francisco to their advantage and give him a lot more cool things to make him a more memorable Bond villain. But now we get to the problems of this film, and the case here is that it's just simply a little too silly. There's countless things to list off here, but I'm not gonna waste my time here. So I'm just gonna get to the big one. The slide whistle on the car flip, and yeah, it's pretty stupid and I don't know why they'd include it in here, but I wouldn't say it ruins the effect, even though it was a pretty bad idea. And Live and Let Die kind of had the same problem. It was kind of teetering towards that, but it never really got to the point of annoyance, and it just made more apparent here. Now this is just something that really gets under my skin, and that is Nick Nack. Now, no offense to the actor. The actor does a good job with what he's given with, but what he's given with is not good. You can tell that the script wasn't written like, and I feel like the script treated this character like he was a toddler, because there are many instances where he's like where he acts like a toddler. Not good at all, and in some ways I feel like it kind of disrespects the actor. But overall, The Man with the Golden Gun is just a blast. It has very memorable set designs, and it also has one of the more memorable Bond women I've seen so far. And even though this film is a bit too silly, it doesn't ruin my fun experience with The Man with the Golden Gun, and overall I'm going to give The Man with the Golden Gun a 7 out of 10. Guys, thanks so much for watching. You can check out my other channels in the description, and once again, I'm still trying to figure out how to get into Letterboxd. I'll update you when I get that fixed, but just go check out the links in the description if you want to, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. It's electric.